it's Romy here. Thanks for tuning into the channel. Pisces, this is your January 2020 reading. If you're Pisces sun, rising or moon, it may resonate for you. It is a general reading. If you are enjoying and it resonates, you can support the channel by purchasing the extended reading. The link for that is in the description box below. Let's go ahead and get started, see what comes out for you this month. Okay, Pisces, let's see what January is bringing out for you. The word that's coming through right away for me, just as I'm shuffling here, is complex, which makes sense. We've got so much powerful astrological activity happening all the way through January that it's almost like if you prepare yourself for all eventualities, I think this is going to be the best approach for you. Okay. But we begin your reading with card of the Empress, which I love. I feel the message that's coming through straight away is that this is about you working with the influences that January is bringing to your doorstep, with the quality of grace, with the energy of composure, with an understanding that no matter how chaotic, no matter how complicated, no matter how misrepresented you feel or situations are surrounding you, it does not have to infiltrate your peace of mind. It does not have to impact the way with which you decide to hold your energy or maintain your personal boundaries. The card of the Empress is rich in possibility and offers up the soil in this fertile and opportunistic opening. So it's almost like the pathways are being presented before you to help you see your way through this myriad of like almost spaghetti junction that I feel is swirling around you. So I love that the Empress comes in as your guide to navigate your way through this month ahead. And we begin the month, the 3rd, with Mars moving into the sign of Sagittarius, which for you Pisces activates the 10th house. So it does bring out this ambitious quality. It asks you to go bigger, to think on a grander scale for yourself, and to understand that you have the capability, the manifesting, the creativity, the fertility to be able to give birth to something new, to something different, to something with longevity and power behind it. So even though you may be dealing with the hangover of 2019's energy, even though you are still working your way through these powerful astrological transit, trying to make sense of what they mean to you in your personal world and with your key relationships and the things that matter most to you. For me, this card of Empress is reminding you to remember who you are, all that you have within you, the gifts that are yours, naturally yours. Remember, this is not about what's on paper. This is not about the accreditation or the training or what your CV says or the accomplishments that are marked by awards or accolades. This is about your innate understanding of the divine worthiness of the soul being that you are, and that you absolutely have the right to be able to draw in, to magnetize, to create, to manifest what is your divine birthright. So the Empress brings that courage, that confidence, that beautiful, sensual energy, compassionate energy that I think is going to be a real antidote for you, Pisces, as we move through January. So on the 10th, we have the full moon in the sign of Cancer. It is an eclipse. It's the second pairing eclipse, so the first being that new moon that we've just had in December in the sign of Capricorn. Now with this full moon Cancer lunar eclipse, which does have some opposing alignments with Pluto, with Saturn, with Mercury, activating in your 5th house, Pisces. So there is this sense of uncertainty, right? There is a revelatory feel to this moon that could have you receiving unexpected news, having some surprise curveballs coming in. 5th house is focused on those areas of your life to do with romance, to do with creativity, fertility. It's also about the way you want to be presented, how you see yourself, that opportunity for recognition. So 9 of Wands energy coming in with this for me says we need to persevere. We need to move through this energy. We have to appreciate that it may be a little complex. You know, the moon likes to be in the sign of Cancer. It's exalted here, but with that eclipse, there is this slightly unpredictable nature that comes up. And almost what's coming through from the guides is that if you can approach this, Pisces, from a perspective of this is an experiment, right? January is a month of experiment. And I'm just going to be curious about the effect and the impact of how things play out around me, where I feel triggered, how I see myself responding, watching as others respond in the way that they choose to. This is really where you're going to have that richness of information and wisdom. Remember, the Empress is a very receptive energy. She's not pushing and forcing the energy. She's allowing the energy. 9 of Wands says that there's a weariness here, okay? There's perhaps a tiredness where you feel like it's been a tough journey and perhaps you haven't felt as supported as you would like to in parts of that journey. But it's also a time to really galvanize and to remind yourself of exactly who you are. And the 9 of Wands is looking directly towards that Empress energy. So for me, this is a time to cast aside any doubt, to let go of any suspicion, to shed that sense of weariness and decide that you will redirect your energy and see this as one huge experiment, however complex it may come across, and allow the positive aspects of what this full moon can reveal for you to come in. So just after the 10th, we have Uranus moving direct in Taurus. It's been retrograde since 11th of August in your 3rd house of communication. So perhaps it's played havoc with the way you've been received, the way you've communicated, how people have chosen to understand you, where you're coming from. It's almost at times, I feel for you, Pisces, through much of 2019 and even into the beginning of this year, you perhaps feel misunderstood in certain circles and certain instances. And perhaps you feel there's not really been a balance or, you know, a reciprocal energy from the people that are surrounding you. So this is a time where we have that adjustment taking place, the shift in energy helping you to feel a little bit more clear-minded, helping you to express yourself and for people to see where you're coming from a cleaner perspective. Bearing in mind that everybody has their own unique journey to navigate through with these powerful transits through the month of January, and everybody is responding very differently. Added to the mix, we have a very different frequency in 2020. So what you see as fair and just and right could be a very different perspective for someone who has a very different story. And there's something that the guides are bringing through, again, about this need for you to remain in that very Empress-like energy, who beautifully aligns in with that Taurus nature, right, where we're talking about Uranus moving direct in Taurus, but to not be affected, to not take things personally, okay? And, you know, at this point, let's acknowledge when we hit that 12th of the month and Saturn and Pluto go conjunct in your 11th house, and it is really impacting on that group dynamic for you. It's how these relationships in your life are playing out, the way in which you are connecting to people, how friendships are evolving, who's leaving, who's entering, and really how you feel received, Pisces. So expect there to be some shifts and adjustments and changes that have to take place. You know, this is a point in time that's the before and the after. And, you know, it's a powerful period of your lifetime, of your soul journey. This is such a rare alignment. So understand that what Spirit are trying to show you about yourself and your life is here to help you expand. So Strength card comes in. This could be a Leo energy that we're dealing with. So maybe for some of you, this is where you're being most triggered or most impacted right now. But we also look at what the Strength card brings to bear for you in this month of January. And it's absolutely the ability to navigate your way through, particularly a very emotional, quite deep, very sensitive full moon, and maintain that sense of peace, maintain that sense of protection around yourself, around your world, around the people that matter to you. It's almost a bit of a closing ranks, and I feel that actually for some Pisces, I think this is going to be required through this month of January. You're going to have to shut out the white noise and just be very protective of your own sanctuary, your own sacred space. But Strength card is helping you to find that sense of resilience and endurance, right? And there's a courage associated with this, because I feel like you're ready to just walk through the fire, whatever that fire is bringing. And almost like, I think for some of you, maybe you're fearing the worst or expecting the worst, but actually what I see is real metamorphosis taking place, the opportunity to really see something and the way that perhaps you have perceived it in the past from a very different perspective, and that's helping you to make a huge shift and adjustment for yourself moving forward. So when we move to the 13th of January, so really powerful period between that 10th and 13th, we have Venus moving into your sign Pisces, so helping you to feel more at ease with the expression of love with those people that really matter in your world, helping you to apply that nurturing and healing toward yourself as well. So Three of Swords energy coming through. And it's interesting, this was the exact placement that came up for Capricorn as well. And I think that for so many of us, really this is what January is about. It's kind of bringing everything up to the surface to clean it out. It's cleaning out old energy and old wounds and old attachments, and really helping us to find a sense of purity. It's like a cleansing. You know, all of that water energy coming in with that full moon is like a cleansing. That's the way it's being presented to me. If you feel that you are in a situation where you feel restricted or there are limitations that have been placed upon you, for me, that Three of Swords is giving you the way out. There's a way forward, and something has to break, something has to adjust, something has to fundamentally change. But when it does, it brings this beautiful sense of liberation through, and freedom, and the strength to be able to make that decision. So if there's a tough choice, if there's a tough decision on the horizon, you're absolutely, with that guide of the Empress, going to be able to bring it about. I think we also have this note coming in about expectation. Perhaps you feel like someone has let you down, or you feel like you let yourself down in a certain area, and there's that residual echo that almost feels like it's being brought back up to the surface through this month of January, to be looked at one more time, to be considered, to be curious about. Remember that note about this being a month of experiment. How can you look at this from a completely different vantage point, Pisces? Because here's where you're going to get the real wisdom. Here's where you're really going to see what the power of this Saturn and Pluto conjunction is about. You know, Pluto dealing with all of those unconscious, that deep part of our psyche, and Saturn ruling over that sense of structure and order and time, and these two powerful karmic heavyweights coming in to really help you to see things in a very cold, hard light of day, but that ultimately being the most healing, the most liberating, and actually the most joyful thing that you can experience, because it allows you to move forward with no regret and no attachment. And I think for some of you, that's what's needed. What is it that you're letting go of? Is it an ideal? Is it a set of thought forms that were more harmful to you than you really realized they were? Is it a situation in relationships, or where you've held yourself back in some kind of area of your work or your purpose? It's all coming out into the light, and it's all going to help you to regain your balance. As we move into the second part of January and we come into Aquarius energy, which is moving into 12th house for you. Beautiful sense of release taking place, right? And here we find you on firmer ground. Here we find you, Pisces, feeling more energized, more organized, more clear-minded, Queen of Pentacles energy coming in, of course, could represent an earth sign that's important to you right now. Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo. But I also feel when I link this into you, you know, Queen of Pentacles to me has got this very similar vibrational energy to the Empress. And she's really talking to me about your ability to get on with things, okay? It's just almost like I appreciate all of the chaos and all of the turmoil and how this is playing out and how everybody feels unsettled, but I have work to do. And here's what's important to me. And here's what I need to bring in. And here are the kind of day-to-day physical tasks that are still on my priority list, right? So I feel like you're not losing yourself in this month, okay? Even though there are times where it feels like that water, that powerful kind of lunar energy around the 10th, because I feel that's when you're going to be most affected, Pisces, through this month. You regain composure. You regain because you've got that strength card and you've got the Empress having your back. If this is an earth sign, I feel they're coming in on a supportive level for you, Pisces. Okay, this is what is being given to me. I feel like they're the person you can count on. This is where the loyalty comes through. This is the type of connection that's going to help you see your way through. Somebody that you can count on. Someone who feels like they're offering something that's more balanced. Okay. Of course, some of you may be experiencing the antithesis of that with an earth sign, and perhaps you're more in the energies of this 3 of Swords, 5 of Swords, but what's coming through intuitively is I feel that they're coming in on a supportive connection and energy for you, okay? So 24th is the new moon in Aquarius. Really wonderful time for you to take some time for yourself, I feel. And actually, I think because we tap in so much to our spiritual self when we're in 12th house, and we almost are forced. Sometimes we're given that forced shutdown, you know, we're encouraged to take the time out that we need to have that sacred space and energy. Beautiful Temperance coming in to support that message. This is when we really start to get the ideas and we can start to join the dots, okay? This could also be a Sagittarius energy that you're dealing with. If it is, maybe there has been some upset. Maybe there's some mistrust or some uncertainty connected to that particular energy. But where this embodies what you're going through and what your guides are wanting to gift you is the healing, is the sense of balance that comes in from Temperance, helping to restore order, helping to get you back on your feet, helping you to take the time that you need and actually receive a blessing in the interim with that beautiful double rainbow coming through. Third eye being activated here is reminding you that you do need to trust and sense your way forward with this, okay? And I think with Venus moving into your sign, this is going to help you to just feel your way into the right decisions, the right choices for you. For those of you with a focus in and around your work and your purpose, we are seeing the clearing out of any disappointment, any expectation that has not been realized, any patterns that perhaps have been reenacted over and over again, cycles that you've found yourself in where you've had the same outcome. We see a complete flipping of energy taking place with an understanding that I simply can't operate and I can't be the same person that I was in 2019. That person is no longer here. I've taken the best of it and I've taken the learning from everything else, and now I have to move forward. And what comes with that is more generosity of spirit towards yourself, an understanding of where you want to direct your time and energy, and more balance coming in. There is support in this reading, okay? I feel like there's help coming through for you, Pisces. So for those of you that need it, whether that be from a financial perspective, from a friendship perspective, or from family, it feels like it's available to you. Perhaps there's some mistrust from you around the motives, shall we say, and you know, that's your personal decision if you want to allow that in. But regardless, I feel like you are finding your feet here through this month of January. Seven of Wands. Okay, so what does the Empress as our guide really help to draw out of us? The courage, the confidence, and the vigor to be able to navigate whatever January throws at us. To see it as this experimental time energetically, this once in a lifetime moment where we have the power to change ourselves, to change our outlook, to change how we respond energetically, to decide what our energy imprint, our energy signature will be, to be able to overcome the challenges that are presented, not just with a sense of having to go through the motions, but actually feeling enlivened by it, because you're at a point in time when you realize that you can change your life, you can change the direction you want to move in, you can change the people who surround you, you can change the ideas and how you choose to implement them, you can create and manifest and bring to life the dreams that are still residing within you. So I love that Seven of Wands coming through as just this powerful galvanizing of energy. If we are looking at this from a relationship perspective, I think certainly some of you have a journey to navigate through this month. Okay, if you are in a relationship, you may be revisiting an old wound so that you can clear it out. Perhaps you are seeing behavioral patterns that have shown themselves before, but again, you get to choose, you get to decide how you want to respond to that. I think for those of you that feel a continuation of a repeated cycle of disappointment, again, this month is about revealing to you how you can shift your perspective to change something. What can be different within you? What have you learned about yourself in each and every one of these relationships that have shown up in your life? And this isn't just about romantic relationships. Of course, this hits on friendships, this hits on colleagues and co-workers, and in a family perspective. Where's the give and take been? Have you overgiven? Have you constantly felt like you're the one who's that wounded healer, you know, that you've not been empowered enough to receive? You've not seen yourself in that Empress worthiness kind of energetic state. I think there's so much rich wisdom set to be gifted to you, Pisces, through January, that will absolutely change your thought forms on their axis. I feel like your world, for some of you, is going to be kind of turned inside out, but in a positive way. It's almost like outer body experience, you know, you're looking back in on things and you're recognizing so much. Your oracle card coming through is pleasure. The deer is really symbolic for me, talking to me about trust, talking to me about this gentle, graceful energy, very linked into the Empress, very linked into strength, even linked into the Queen of Pentacles and Temperance here. So it's this kind of allow things to play out. Even in the chaos, you can find that moment of satisfaction, that sweetness, that ability to say, look how far I've come, look how much I'm learning, look how much more there is to understand. What matters to me? Who do I want to have in this vision? Who do I want to pull in? Who are the people that light me up? What are the things that I want to do in my life that make me feel whole as a person? What is my relationship to pleasure like? Do I feel I deserve it? Or am I so used to disappointment that it's just become my default story? Purity. I love this. Remember we just talked about the full moon and how it was going to be cleansing? This is exactly what this feels like to me. Snow moon. So we're in, you know, the northern hemisphere, this winter period of time when the snow can come along and just clear everything. We have a blank canvas to begin again. Where would you like to begin again? The figure with this over her eyes is asking you to go inwards, to sense that, to feel it. And Cancer is that full moon eclipse, is all about the senses, right? It's that time to be vulnerable, to be open, to be curious. When Mercury moves into Aquarius on the 16th, it's allowing you to in that 12th house energy for you Pisces to be more vulnerable in the way that you communicate, to be honest about what you need. Okay, I hope this has given you some clarity for the month ahead, Pisces. If you would like to join me for the extended reading, we'll talk for about another 20 minutes or so and see what else comes up. I'm just going to pull some clarifying cards right now to see the direction it's going to take us in. Okay, so we'll go ahead, clarify Empress energy right now. 10 of Wands, okay. Something about, you know, because for me, the Empress has got this natural ability to receive pleasure, right? To experience pleasure. This is your Oracle card. Where does pleasure feel like a burden to you? Are you not allowing it? Something to consider. Okay, 8 of Swords energy with that 9 of Wands. Okay, 6 of Pentacles is coming in with 7 of Cups. I just want to pull one more here, Knight of Cups as well. Okay, this could be another water sign that you're dealing with, a Scorpio, Cancerian, or another Pisces. I do feel that. We'll explore what's coming out with that in the extended. Okay, this Strength card is bringing up death. Okay, transformation, change, inevitable change. Perhaps also a Scorpio energy that you're dealing with. 3 of Swords bringing in the High Priestess. I love this placement because for me it is about you understanding why that's shown up, why it has to show up, what it's going to actually bring you as a gift through this month of January. Helping you to open up your heart chakra in an even more powerful way, either to receive healing, to invite something in. Knight of Swords is coming with that 5 of Swords. Could be a Gemini energy or perhaps another air sign that you're dealing with here as well. I want to say perhaps more on the negative just with how that's shown up for me. We'll explore that though. 4 of Swords coming through here again. Okay, Queen of Pentacles is clarifying the Queen of Pentacles, so interesting. Pull one more with that. Okay, Emperor card as well here. Could be a father energy or perhaps an Aries that you're dealing with as well here. Okay, Temperance is bringing through 4 of Pentacles. How are you investing your time, energy, resources, Pisces? That's going to be a big question for you through January. Beautiful. Empress is at the beginning and the end of your reading. I love this. What a guide to have to help you navigate through this very complex month. Very powerful, very revealing. Okay, pleasure is bringing through King of Cups. Okay, interesting. Is this connected to this new interest coming in, an offer perhaps? Certainly some romance coming through for me with that. And King of Pentacles coming in with that Purity card. Okay, if you'd like to join me for the extended Pisces, I'll be delighted to continue this conversation and pull out some more messages through this reading for you. Otherwise, thank you so much for supporting my channel and joining me in your January reading. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I will touch base with you again real soon. Take care. Bye for now.